Finally, what we've all been waiting for, Kenny Pickett. The Steelers' first-round pick played in the second half of Week 4 after Mitch Trubisky was benched. Pickett, well, he had his moments. The good news, though, is all 13 of Pickett's passes were caught. The bad news is, well, 3 of them were intercepted.
Oh, God damn it!
But hold on, we do need some context to those. His first NFL pass was picked, and that's something we're literally going to hear about for the rest of his career now. He took a chance there, and Pickett threw it up in double coverage to Chase Claypool, and it got knocked around and just picked off. On second thought, maybe he wouldn't want to throw that into double coverage, but it is what it is. The second interception was late in the fourth. Not really ideal. Pickett throws it, and it wasn't a great decision, but the ball got tipped up. I get it wasn't the best idea, but I really can't blame Pickett for that. The last pick, well, that was just a last-ditch Hail Mary that makes the stat line look worse than it actually was. So I would say that 2 of his interceptions came from bad decisions, but one of them was just completely unlucky. And outside of that, I think he played really well. He completed 76.9% of his passes for 120 yards. Pickett flashed his legs a little bit too, rushing for 15 yards on 6 carries, and 2 of them went for touchdowns. Overall, Pickett looks to have some promise. He made some good throws, had some nice play action calls, and showed that he can use his legs. There's a lot to be excited about this kid. The Jets ended up winning 24-20, but who really cares? It's time to get Pickett ready to go and look towards the future. The calls for Kenny Pickett to start have come since he was drafted. Mitch Trubisky ain't exactly a sexy quarterback, and truth is, Pickett looked pretty damn good in the preseason. He had Steelers fans excited from week 1 of the preseason after he went for 13 of 15 for 95 yards, had 2 touchdowns, and led a game-winning drive. Pittsburgh didn't give him a ton of reps against the Jags, but he was good when he was on the field. 6 of 7, 76 yards, and a touchdown. Then in week 3, the Steelers didn't put him in the game until the second half, but he made some noise once he did get in, going 10 of 14 for 90 yards and a touchdown. It was a preseason performance that gave Pittsburgh fans a lot of hope. And don't forget, Pittsburgh fans have been watching Pickett very close for a while now. Kenny Pickett played his college ball at Pitt. He played every Saturday in the same exact stadium that the Steelers do on Sunday. He was quite literally there in the same facility. It's not a secret that he wasn't exactly a great quarterback in his first 4 years at Pitt, but that COVID year changed everything. All of a sudden, Pitt was really good, and Pickett was the main reason why. He broke out in a big way. He went from a nobody with extra eligibility to the ACC Player of the Year. Pitt went 11-2, and he passed for 4,300 yards and 42 touchdowns to only 7 interceptions. That lone year was enough for the Steelers to take him at 20 at the NFL draft. The reality is, the Steelers were put in a really odd situation this offseason. Ben Roethlisberger retired after 18 years in Pittsburgh, so the Steelers had stability at that position for 18 seasons, and it also came with a lot of success. Him leaving obviously left a huge hole to figure out, and Pittsburgh at least tried to start solving it by signing Mitch Trubisky to a 2-year, about $14 million deal. It definitely wasn't a flashy signing, but Pittsburgh needed a veteran in some way, and Trubisky had a lot of upside. He was a 2nd overall pick. I mean, yeah, it's been 5 years now, but still. He didn't turn into what the Bears had hoped he would, but he did sit behind Josh Allen in 2021, and there was some hope that he may have figured things out sitting in the same room as one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But he is what we thought he was. He's been fine, I guess. I mean, he hasn't been horrible, but he definitely hasn't been good. Like I said, what we all expected. In 4 games, he completed 59.5% of his passes for 653 yards and 2 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. Not exactly the line you were hoping for, and that's why Steelers fans have been calling for Kenny Pickett for a while. Mitch Trubisky just hasn't been a fun quarterback to watch, but Kenny Pickett really represents some hope for the Steelers. When you sign a veteran quarterback and then draft a quarterback high, you know that it's only a matter of time until that guy is the starter. From week 1 on, everyone knew that at some point Pickett would be the guy, and here we are. Trubisky wasn't taking those fun 50-50 chances. He wasn't extending plays with his legs or really being that exciting at all. all. Trubisky was just there as a placeholder until Mike Tomlin made the call to start Pickett. Now, it's only week 4, but it seems like it's been long overdue. And if you watch the Steelers at all this year, you know that it hasn't been great. Losing to the Jets is a big deal, and everyone knows that. Not saying that the Jets aren't a decent team, but they're definitely not supposed to be better than the Steelers this year. In week 3, the Steelers got pounded by the Browns. The Deshaun Watson-less Browns beat Pittsburgh 29-17. That's just embarrassing. Pittsburgh lost to New England 17-14 in week 2, another boring game, but week 1 was exciting. I'll give the Steelers that. But don't forget that if the Bengals just simply hit an extra point or a field goal, Pittsburgh is an 0-4 team right now. Somehow the Steelers escaped 23-20, but context still matters. I don't think much is really expected from the Steelers for the rest of this season, and by starting Kenny Pickett and benching Mitch Trubisky, whether or not this season is a success is going to be based on Kenny Pickett's development. You can't possibly convince me that the Steelers are a playoff team right now. The Ravens look great, the Browns are still winning games without Deshaun Watson somehow, and it seems like the Bengals are starting to figure things out after struggling to start the year. That leaves Pittsburgh, 1-3 with a rookie quarterback and a roster with a lot of holes on it. The Steelers aren't making the playoffs, and that shouldn't be their goal this year either. They should just make sure that Pickett can get better and learn, and I do think that Pittsburgh can accomplish that. Oftentimes, the success of a young quarterback is based on franchise or coaching. We've made a video about how talent doesn't always matter when you're drafting a quarterback, and how it's more of a situation type of thing, and that's usually true. Some franchises know how to do things the right way and develop quarterbacks, and others don't. The Steelers have shown that they know what they're doing, and Mike Tomlin has to be one of the best head coaches in the league. He's probably well in danger of his first ever losing season, but I don't expect him to be out of Pittsburgh anytime soon. This is his team, and he's going to figure it out. Outside of coaching, the other thing that really matters is a quarterback situation, and I think the Steelers have some really good sneaky offensive weapons. George Pickens is the guy everyone is excited about, and how could you not be? He was fun as hell to watch at Georgia, and he was great in the preseason. Pickett even threw up a nice 50-50 ball to him on Sunday, and it was almost a glimpse of what the future of Steelers football could look like. It's just exciting. Deontay Johnson is the number 1, and he could be one of the most underrated wide receivers in the league. He's great, and he's going to be a good trusty weapon for Pickett. Chase Claypool has had his moments. He's struggled at times, but at other times he looks like the best wide receiver on the field, so I don't really know what to expect there. Pat Freiermuth is a solid tight end, and Harris is definitely a good running back. I think the biggest thing is that the Steelers' offensive line hasn't been complete shit. Now, it's far from good, but much better than most, including myself, expected it to be. The faster Pickett can figure things out, the better, because I don't view the Steelers as a team that's rebuilding. I think the roster is way too good for that. It's a team that does have some holes it needs to fill, and the biggest one is quarterback. Even this season, I don't think the Steelers are just gonna fall flat on their face. I think that they'll win some games, and a lot of that is going to come because of their defense. First and foremost, Minkah Fitzpatrick is so good. There honestly aren't many better defensive players in the league right now. TJ Watt is on IR right now, but he should be back from his pec injury here soonish. Cameron Hayward is still there, and there's just so many reasons to be optimistic about the Steelers defense. I don't think everything will come together this season. I mean, Kenny Pickett needs more time than that, but do keep an eye on the Steelers because it could surprise you.